All right, I'm back with another one. It's Mike. This is Something to Do, the podcast. Something for me to do. Hopefully, it gives you something to do as well. Today, I'm going to be looking at some more crazy videos. Today, I got one lined up from Spiritual Dive page called The Gateway Process, the CIA document that explains time travel, step by step included. So, I've got that queued up right here. Sounds interesting. Sounds like something I would definitely deep dive into. Got it queued up. Let's take a look.
A document that, for years, was hidden, kept under confidentiality. A study that, when revealed, brought to light concepts that cross the boundaries between science and mysticism, between the tangible and the intangible. What is found in this declassified CIA document called the Gateway Process is a deep dive into the exploration of altered states of consciousness and the possibilities that arise when the human mind surpasses the limits of ordinary perception. The Gateway Process is not just another academic study. It is a record of decades of research on the phenomena that occur when the human mind connects to dimensions beyond the physical reality we know.
Which we've heard of before. I mean, this is talked about through history. This is something like Nikola Tesla would talk about this, that he would get in state where he was pulling information from elsewhere that he wasn't sure from, but he was connecting in, tuning into some other frequency or some other consciousness or some collective mind of some sort.
This document reveals techniques that, in their essence, promise to expand human consciousness, allowing for an exploration of reality that goes far beyond what our senses can perceive. It presents methods such as out-of-body experiences,
Now, I've had an out of body experience before as well. I'm sure they're going to give us a little bit more detail on, how this goes for most people. It was kind of like that. It was kind of like my soul left my body. I could see everything from like a video game, third person view, overhead view, um, of hours of what felt like I was doing right before that led up to that accident. And then it was like my soul was sucked back into my body, and I woke up in a different area where they had carried me off for help, and I was bleeding but needed some stitches, but literally just smashed my face so hard it basically rocked me into an out of body experience. Let's see what they have to say on this.
OBE, and other dimensions of perception that defy conventional understanding. This CIA study, now declassified, connects the knowledge of the great scientists in history, such as Einstein's theory of relativity and the discoveries in quantum physics, with the oldest spiritual traditions, including mystical practices from the East. It offers a path, a meticulous process that can guide us to experiences that alter our perception of time, space, and our own identity. With this in mind, some questions arise. What else exists beyond what we see? What happens when our mind is freed from the limitations of matter?
I mean, I was just arguing this the other day. They're talking about time, space time, and I was just giving a buddy a handful. You know, is time even real? What concept of time are you going by? And just giving him a whole bunch of crap about it. Just messing with him. Um, but I see where they're going here. Let's get a little bit more in here.
And the boundaries of space-time. So today, we will explore how the gateway process
I mean, then we've also all kind of experienced. I don't know if they're gonna consider it time travel, but when you've been bored through your day and you've been like time's man, just time went by, or time flies when you're having fun. Your mood can alter the perception of time as well. So I wonder if they even mention a little bit of that.
proposes to expand consciousness and lead to experiences beyond the reality we know. You will discover how the human mind can access hidden dimensions and what science and spirituality have in common when it comes to perceiving reality. The out-of-body experience, or OBE, is one of the most fascinating and, at the same time, enigmatic experiences that a human being can undergo. It is an altered state of consciousness where the perception of the self dissociates from the physical body, allowing the individual to feel as if they are floating or moving out of their body.
Again, that's how
While
it
many
worked for me.
consider this experience to be mystical or paranormal, the gateway process proposes a scientific and systematic
Outerworldly,
approach to accessing
otherworldly.
this state, recognizing it as a key element to expanding consciousness and exploring dimensions beyond ordinary physical perception.
So basically, I just smashed my face so hard it blew my consciousness into another dimension. I was time traveling or seeing an alternate play of what was going on party view. I mean, they're kind of breaking it down for me like that's what was going on, and that's exactly kind of what it felt like to me. So, I mean, they might have something here.
The regular practice of the techniques proposed by the gateway process aims to enable the individual to free themselves from the limitations of the physical body, allowing their mind to project into other planes of existence. Upon reaching this state, the individual can explore alternative realities and access information that is not available within the limits of normal perception. Consciousness is no longer a confined entity within the body, but
So, because I was unconscious or my consciousness had left my body, that maybe I was seeing a reality or dimension or plane of consciousness of what had happened up to that point. And then when it happened again, or up to that point where I had knocked myself out, just came back to my plane. I mean, that's crazy to think of. A lot going on there.
becomes an expanded field that can interact with different dimensions of being and the universe. To achieve this separation of consciousness from the physical body, the gateway process proposes a set of specific techniques to prepare the mind and body for the experience. One of these techniques involves synchronizing brain waves through hemispheric synchronization, hemisync technology, which uses binaural sounds to induce the mind into a deep state of relaxation. This process prepares the brain to reach brainwave frequencies that promote the detachment of consciousness from the body. When the
Almost like
brain waves
hypnosis.
enter a resonant state, the mind begins to loosen from physical restrictions, creating the sensation of floating or leaving the body. Although out-of-body experiences are potentially accessible to everyone, many people face considerable challenges when attempting to reach this state. One of the most common obstacles is fear or mental resistance. For many, the idea of leaving the body can be frightening, as it involves losing the sense of control over their physical body. Others may struggle to achieve the level of relaxation necessary to enter this deep state of consciousness, which can be frustrating and discouraging. However, the hemisync technique not only prepares the mind for the out-of-body experience, but
And if you think about it, monks that are trying to reach enlightenment or nirvana, they tend to, a lot of times you would see or uh, shown, or the imagery is them harmonizing, doing something like that, some kind of harmonizing to and meditating to reach a higher point or a higher point of enlightenment. So maybe that's what they're trying to reach there. Maybe that's what a lot of monks are trying to get. Maybe that's what nirvana is. But when it comes to the out of body, the floating, I know that they that floating feeling, you can get that from a deprivation tank and floating in the salt water. um, so those are options as well. I wonder if they're going to even mention those, but seems like that would all kind of get you into the same plane, possibly. And they said everybody can reach that out of body experience.
also facilitates overcoming fears and resistances. The gradual training allows the mind to get used to the progressive detachment from physical reality, helping to reduce feelings of anxiety and insecurity. Furthermore, the practice of visualizing the separation movement from the physical body, as if consciousness is sliding out of the body, can help make the experience smoother and less intimidating. Another common challenge faced during the process is
Interesting.
returning to physical reality. Many people who experience the OBE report a sense of confusion when trying to re-enter their body. This happens because, upon separating from the body, consciousness is no longer bound by the conditions and references of the physical world, which can cause a sense of disorientation when returning to the physical state. But the gateway process demonstrates techniques that help ease this return, such as
Again, when mine happened, it was like I was just immediately sucked right back into my body. Like somebody just yanked me down and I just fell right back in my shell. So there was nothing. Maybe I was still attached to this plane because I didn't mean to go there, knocked myself out to get to that point. But yeah, I didn't. It was kind of like how that astronaut was falling and floating into the eye of that storm. Is I just fell like that, but it just right back in and pulled right back into my body, like rubber band snapping me right back in.
anchoring consciousness to physical objects or reference points before finishing the experience. With practice, these difficulties can be minimized, allowing the practitioner to perform the OBE in a controlled and conscious manner without the trauma of an abrupt transition. Consciousness, no longer limited to the physical body, begins to explore dimensions of being that were previously unknown or inaccessible. This may include the ability to access memories stored in the unconscious, discovering new ways to interact with
Sounds
the
like
environment,
hypnosis.
or even communicating with other life forms and entities operating on different frequencies of
That sounds
reality.
like DMT.
The practitioner who masters this technique may begin to notice a significant shift in their worldview. They may become more aware of their own energy, perceive the interconnectedness of all things, and experience a sense of belonging to something greater. When we begin to explore the depths of consciousness, we quickly realize that the human mind is capable of operating on levels far beyond our everyday perception. But the out-of-body experience arises not only from the desire to free the body from physical limitations, but from a specific state of mind that is facilitated by a natural and fascinating phenomenon: REM sleep. This stage of sleep,
Dreams.
often overlooked in its transformative potential, is one of the most powerful gateways to accessing higher states of consciousness and projecting our essence beyond the physical body. During sleep, our body and mind enter different phases that are
All right. Sorry if there's a weird delay in the middle there. Dog was barking. Had to let him out real quick. Let's get right back into it. Out of body experience.
essential for recovery and rest. Among these phases, REM, rapid eye movement, sleep stands out as one of the most important for those seeking to expand their consciousness. REM sleep is a phase of deep sleep characterized by rapid eye movements, increased brain activity, and temporary muscle paralysis.
And of
This
course,
game,
an ad just drops
you're
right
not ready
in.
for it.
When we are in REM sleep, there is a temporary disconnection between the conscious mind and the physical body. This happens due to the suppression of nerve signals that normally control muscle movements. This paralysis of the body allows the mind to detach from physical limitations, creating a sense of freedom that facilitates the projection of consciousness out of the body. It is in this state that many people report the sensation of floating or moving into other dimensions, a phenomenon that is closely tied to what is known as the out-of-body experience. REM sleep is also a privileged access point for activating the unconscious mind, where deeper thoughts and memories can emerge. The mind, free from the body's restrictions, begins to explore territories beyond everyday perception. This process allows consciousness to expand, experiencing realities that are not limited by the laws of physics or the normal perceptions of the material world. To facilitate this transition and enhance the projection of consciousness,
So basically, I just hit myself so hard, disconnected my mind and my consciousness, and it put me in this zone right here. That's crazy to think of that some people can actually get there on purpose, meditating, hitting the right frequencies, deprivation tanks, learning how to do this. Um, man, I don't know if I've even had a dream that really felt like that, but I definitely had that one experience where I knocked myself out for sure. Huge out of body experience at that one.
The gateway process discusses some techniques based on synchronizing brain waves. The use of binaural sounds and specific frequency stimuli, like those found in hemisync recordings, can help induce the mind into states similar to REM sleep, even when the person is awake. These techniques increase the brain's ability to move between different states of consciousness, making the out-of-body experience more accessible and controllable. These practices are not limited to simple inductions into REM sleep, but also help train the mind to enter a state of deep relaxation. When the mind reaches this level of calm, it is more capable of disconnecting from the physical body in a controlled way, allowing the projection of consciousness without the fear or confusion that can arise in deeper trance states.
Just imagine being able to astro project anytime you wanted just by meditating uh, into complete relaxation. That'd be crazy.
The repetition of these techniques strengthens the individual's ability to achieve the desired state, making the projection of consciousness a progressively clearer and more controlled experience, while also deepening their understanding of themselves and the universe. By freeing itself from the limitations of the physical body, the mind can travel through different layers of reality, offering the practitioner the opportunity to gain profound knowledge. However, even in altered states of consciousness, the mind continues to be influenced by personal beliefs, conditioning, and emotions. This means that while the mind has the potential to access information from other dimensions, it also filters and interprets this information based on its own internal limitations. So perceptions during an out-of-body experience can become distorted, impacting the accuracy of the information gathered. This distortion can occur in several ways, such as mixing personal memories with external data or interference from other thoughts and entities during the experience. One example is when trying to access information about past events. Instead of obtaining a clear view, the individual might encounter fragments of residual energy or distorted memories, making it difficult to acquire accurate data.
Which makes
Another
sense.
limiting factor
A distorted memory, maybe you didn't remember it perfectly. Holes in the memory, you remember just a little bit of the day, and then you go back, and then it would kind of be fuzzy or not even sure. I wonder if it'd be like AI, trying to fill in the spots, or you know, just be blocked. You hitting those doors, like people have those doors locked inside their head, type of deal. Maybe you just can't get them back.
is how the mind interacts with reality outside the body. During an OBE, perception can become nonlinear, and space-time may behave differently than we know. This means that the data acquired is often distorted, interfered with by layers of thoughts, emotions, and even external entities, making it difficult to get clear information.
I mean, we can
While
argue
these
about
limitations
is time it
exist, the
real
gateway
altogether
process
anyway.
describes practices that help minimize the distortions. Techniques like synchronizing brain waves and training the mind to focus precisely on the desired goal can improve the quality of perception during out-of-body travels. Over time, as the individual refines these skills, the collection of information becomes more accurate and controlled. And all this foundational study in the declassified CIA document mirrors many traditions around the world, such as Buddhism, Hinduism, and Christianity,
Again, I mentioned monks meditating, trying to hit nirvana, enlightenment, and how similar that was. Basically, they're saying it's the same. They are a body of experience. They do have documentation of that happening. That's crazy.
which have long offered views on the nature of reality. These spiritual traditions teach us that reality is not static, but fluid, interconnected, and multidimensional. Hinduism, for example, speaks of Brahman, the ultimate unchanging reality that permeates everything. Buddhism, in turn, describes emptiness, an essential nature of all that exists, where nothing is truly separate or permanent. These views align with the discoveries of quantum physics, which suggests that physical reality is made up of interconnected and vibrating energy patterns, rather than being a solid, unchanging substance. One common concept between these traditions is that reality is like a hologram, where each part reflects the whole. In Buddhism, this can be seen in the idea that the interconnectedness of all beings and phenomena in the universe is a reflection of absolute reality. Hinduism also describes a world where all forms of life are connected by universal consciousness, which is a projection of Brahman. This concept of a universal hologram is strikingly similar to how quantum physics describes the universe, a network of intertwined energy.
I mean, if you also ask the Hindus and the Indians and a lot of those religions over there what they think about aliens, they'll tell you that they're real too. They've got a lot longer history than a lot of us here in the West. So it wouldn't surprise me if aliens had given them the way to quantum communicate or think or process and them able to do that with their own human mind um, when we haven't fully understood everything that the human mind's possible of.
And information that form an indivisible whole. Quantum physics, with its theory of non-locality and the idea that reality can be understood as a manifestation of information, perfectly mirrors the view that reality is not limited by space and time, but is a deeper projection of consciousness. The relationship between individual consciousness and collective consciousness is another point of convergence. Buddhism, for example, teaches that overcoming the ego allows one to access a universal consciousness that connects all beings. In Christianity, the idea of the body of Christ reflects this interconnectedness, where all are united by a divine force. And quantum physics explores how particles can be linked beyond space-time, suggesting that our individual consciousnesses may be connected to a larger, universal consciousness. And by analyzing the relationship between these traditions and scientific discoveries, we see that the idea of a universal consciousness, which transcends the individual, is not just a spiritual concept but a possibility explored by modern physics. Human consciousness, as suggested by scientists like David Bohm and Rupert Sheldrake, could be part of a universal field of information and energy, where ideas and intentions from one person can affect reality on deep and subtle levels. This field, often called the field of consciousness, has parallels with the concept of universal energy found in many spiritual philosophies.
You know, there's that old saying that the thought atmosphere, you think of a good idea, now it's in the thought atmosphere. Somebody else can, the other side of the world can now come up with that same idea. And that's kind of the where that kind of originates from, in my opinion, that collective consciousness or knowledge that we can pull from, and basically the thought atmosphere is how I see that.
Like Ki in Taoism or Prana in Hinduism. What becomes clear is that the search for the expansion of the mind, whether in science or spirituality, converges on one crucial point. Consciousness is not confined to the body, but is capable of accessing realities beyond physical perception. And so the next step is to understand how we can actually apply this knowledge and practice to achieve advanced states of consciousness. The first step in the gateway process is to learn how to synchronize brain waves, which is essential for achieving deep focus and entering altered states of consciousness.
Another ad? Jeez, guys.
The human brain operates on different brain.
Sorry about the ads, guys. I haven't got ad blocker yet. Obviously, that's screwing that up. But hey, right back into it. They're letting us know that how to achieve. First thing is to get synchronized the brain
Waves, which is essential for achieving deep focus and entering altered states of consciousness. The human brain operates on different brainwave frequencies, and each of these frequencies is associated with a distinct level of perception and mental activity. To access higher states of consciousness, it is necessary to induce the brain into a resonant state, known as hemispheric synchronization. This can be done using binaural sounds, which help align the brain waves of both hemispheres.
See, when I had my helmet on, must have smashed it so hard, made me vibrate into another dimension.
Facilitating deep focus and preparation for an out-of-body experience. Once this focus is achieved, the next step is to induce a deep state of physical and mental relaxation. Relaxation is crucial because it allows the mind to free
Oh, my body went limp. I hit out limp. I was relaxed as could be, vibrated my brain into another dimension. That's what exactly what happened.
itself from physical distractions and focus entirely on the transcendent experience. Techniques such as controlled breathing, visualization, and other meditation practices help achieve this deep, calm state. When the body is fully relaxed, the physical barriers between consciousness and the body begin to dissolve, creating the opportunity for consciousness to project out of the body. The third step involves using auto-hypnotic suggestions, a powerful tool to reach even deeper states of perception. Auto-hypnotic suggestions help direct the mind and prepare the practitioner to fully surrender to the process of expanding
Hypnosis.
consciousness. Through positive affirmations and guided visualizations, it is possible to increase mental clarity, improve consciousness control, and overcome the limitations of ordinary thought, allowing for a richer exploration of altered states. With practice,
Mm.
it becomes possible to begin overcoming perceptual distortions that may arise during out-of-body experiences. As consciousness expands, the perception of reality can become fragmented or confused. This involves training the mind to distinguish between what is real and what is a mental projection, while also staying centered and focused, even as the perception of the world around you begins to transform. And by working with expanded consciousness, you begin to explore new dimensions of existence and better understand your place in the universe. With continued practice, you become capable of traveling through different planes of reality, accessing information beyond ordinary perception, and eventually reaching a deeper understanding of the nature of existence. This process not only reveals new ways of perceiving the world, but also offers a journey of self-discovery and personal transformation, allowing you to reconnect with your deeper essence and the totality of the cosmos. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe.
All right, well, we're gonna stop right there. Hey, and if you haven't liked this video and you made it this far, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe, guys. But hey, I did that. Hey, we got through this video about out of body experiences, but and it was based on a CIA document. They didn't really give us a step by step how to time travel, just how to astro project. I don't know if the time is relevant to whatever plane you're in. I guess is where they went with that, but they didn't tell us how to technically time travel. It's not like I'm that guy at the Tyson fight that's back in the early '90s with an iPhone, or the person with the video camera at the JFK assassination. Nothing crazy like that. Now, again, great theories on how to astro project, how that links into Eastern religions and how they meditate and kind of get to that same thing. And then, kind of how to get into that astro project. But then, I don't know. Again, is that really time travel though? I mean, it is cool if you could eventually get good at that meditation process. Again, the brain waves getting connected, relaxation. Now, again, you could just go do some bike stunts like me, fall from 10 feet, land right on your chin, and vibrate your brain into another dimension. I mean, because I definitely had a crazy out of body experience. So, to each their own. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell so you know when more videos drop, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.